welcome everybody. We are Tabletop Anthologies. This is Star Trek Adventures. We are back with the crew of the USS Surprise. Start at the top. Commander Maricadi, played by Tabletop Tony.
Happy to be here.
Commander Kullat, Resident Vulcan, played by Hades. And Lieutenant Junior Grade, Andorian Grax, our Chief Medical Officer, played by Severian.
Hello.
And we left off, the crew had been in a plasma drift, destroyed, messed up, but they got free. The Borg cube, or sphere, was destroyed. And they found a nebula close by to start making repairs. And so before we begin on the next scenario, the ship spent about 2 weeks in the nebula conducting repairs. Actually, Starfleet headquarters had sent out a rescue ship with some supplies, and on board was Admiral Talara, the Starfleet admiral. She is a Vulcan, by the way, Hades. Anyways, she brought a bunch of supplies and assisted with repairs on the ship. It's been about 2 weeks, and she has called the crew of the Surprise to Cargo Bay 1 to attend this formal meeting. So let me get you all on over to our screen real quick. Wrong screen. We'll do that. Sorry.
Can you say her name again? Admiral, what was it?
Talara. So here, I'll show you where we're at. I just made it. Where'd she go? Did it not save? It didn't save. There she is. Here.
Is she missing from Foundry?
Nope. Oh, that didn't work. New character at work. No players. There you go. Y'all see her?
Yes.
Cool. Cool.
Haircut makes her look Romulan.
No. She is Vulcan, and just for the crew, for our watchers, so they can see her. There we are. There she is. View screen. That's Admiral Talara. So she's gathered you all into the cargo bay, and do this. Okay. And she calls everybody to attention. She kind of steps up to the Starfleet microphone there. Many are gathered actually into this shuttle bay. This was one of the first areas to be repaired at her request since the incident with the Borg and the plasma drift. The lights seem to be just a little bit lower. The floors look extra polished, so much so that it's quite easy to see reflection. The crew from the lower decks did a great job. Anyways, the whistle called everybody to attention, and all of the officers are now present. She steps up to the mic and she says, "Thank you all for joining us for this occasion. The ceremony was to be held after our mission with the Takarans. However, the Borg saw to it to delay us." Vulcan humor. "So without further delay, I call forward Lieutenant Junior Grade Andorian Grax."
Well, I would immediately step up and approach. And is she on kind of like a stage of some sort, or just in the?
No. So you're like I said, you're in the cargo. You're in one of the cargo bays. So they cleaned it up very extra nice. There's kind of like a podium up front, but then everybody is kind of standing at attention, but facing that podium inside the cargo bay. So it's generally just the officers of the crew.
All right. So I
Yeah.
approach, standing at attention next to her.
And she steps up next to you, and she's got like a small little box like that in front of her, and a piece of paper. She unrolls that paper, and she looks to the audience, and she says, during the plasma incident in the Shackleton Expanse, aboard the USS Surprise, the professional skill and ceaseless efforts of Lieutenant Junior Grade Grax contributed to the wellness and survival of the crew of the USS Surprise. His dedication to duty reflects great credit upon himself, the USS Surprise, and Starfleet traditions. She steps forward and she pins onto you the Starfleet Surgeon's decoration. So in your character sheet, you'll see under your talents that award. And what it gives you or grants you is once per mission, you may reduce the difficulty of a single medical task by 1 to a minimum of 1. And then she looks at you again and she nods, and she opens up the box, and inside that box are 2 matching gold pips. She removes one of yours that has the dark shade on it and replaces it with the gold. She asks you to turn around and face the crowd.
And I turn around.
I present to you Lieutenant Andal Grax. And everybody starts doing their claps.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you.
And she motions for you to go ahead and step back.
And I do.
Okay. And I know the other 2 aren't here, but I'm going to go forward with them as well. But she calls forward Lieutenant Commander Cavall. And Mr. Blueskin Andorian does step forward in his astute and proper fashion. He goes to attention, and she looks at him and she nods, and she says, during a top secret mission at an undisclosed location with an undisclosed race, Lieutenant Cavall's actions aboard the USS Surprise upheld the directives of the mission. Without hesitation, Lieutenant Commander Cavall selflessly rushed to Cargo Bay 1, beaming a threat from the ship out into space to detonate so that it did not end up in the wrong hands. Furthermore, during the plasma incident and the attack from the Borg, his efforts to attain structural integrity by rerouting power helped save the ship and many lives upon it. His dedication to duty, safety, and the mission directives reflects great credit upon himself, the USS Surprise, and Starfleet traditions. She walks up and she pins on the Starfleet citation for conspicuous gallantry. And in his character sheet, his talent now says once per mission, when he goes to pay for an immediate momentum spend of any kind by adding threat to the pool, he may roll a challenge dice per threat added. And for each effect rolled, one of the points, or however many effects he rolls, removes that much threat. So she motions, once everybody is done clapping, she motions for him to step back. She then glances over at our Conn officer, and she states, Lieutenant Commander Zemp Thrall, step forward. And he does so, and he's quick to attention. He nods, she nods back, and she starts, during a top secret mission at an undisclosed location with an undisclosed race, Lieutenant Commander Zemtak Thrall's exceptional ability to pilot the USS Surprise to gain the tactical advantage in a hostile battle directly contributed to the mission's success and the survival of their ship and crew. His exceptional ability reflected great credit upon himself, the USS Surprise, and the Starfleet traditions. And she steps forward and she pins on him the commendation for exceptional skill. And that allows him, once per mission, he may do one of the following. gain a bonus momentum on a successful task, or ignore a single complication suffered on that task. And so then she motions for Thrall to step back. Give me 1 second here. Okay, sorry. And then she looks to her fellow Vulcan. She calls forward Commander Kullat.
He steps forward.
She nods to him, and she begins. During a top-secret mission at an undisclosed location with an undisclosed race, Commander Kullat's ingenuity and demonstration of exceptional tactical acumen in the position of operations allowed for precision accuracy in a fight against an enemy vessel. Furthermore, his assistance to Lieutenant Commander Kval during the plasma incident with the Borg allowed them to gain structural integrity on the ship when they regained power. No likely saving many lives. His expert attention to detail reflects great credit upon himself, the USS Surprise, and Starfleet traditions. And she steps forward and she pins on you the Starfleet citation for exceptional skill, which, like Turg's, is once per mission you may do one of the following: gain a bonus momentum on a successful task, or ignore a single complication suffered on a task, and that is also in your character sheet. She waits for the applause and then nods for you to go ahead and step back.
He gives the Vulcan and then steps back into place.
A nod. And then lastly, I call forward Commander Gregory Maricadi.
Step up.
She nods to him. She states, during the several previous missions, Commander Maricadi excelled in his position as commanding officer. We are gathered here to recognize his remarkable leadership. His acts of bravery and steadfast conduct are exactly what Starfleet looks for in its officers. It is my honor and privilege to promote you to the rank of captain. And she walks up, opens the little box, and pins an extra pip upon your collar. And she has you turn around, and she kind of holds her hand up to halt any applause. Spider Queen! Thank you for that sub. Everybody go check out Diesel Shot. They're amazing. And if somebody could throw that Twitch link up in the chat for me, I'd appreciate it. So she has you turn around, Captain Maricadi. And she looks out over the crowd and she says, "Crew of the USS Surprise, I now present to you your captain, Captain Gregory Maricadi." And she looks at you again as the applause starts, and she says, "The ship is yours, Captain."
Thank you, Admiral. I'm honored.
And she steps back.
Pulling back tears.
She steps back, and she nods, and walks off stage. So you, actually, and I forgot to tell you, you now have the ability to spend a point of determination to grant any other character that you can communicate with 1 point of determination. And this doesn't have to be actually linked to a value to do it. So it's almost like a gift. And then you'll have some other stuff to do based on the previous mission. Reference your focus or values, and we'll get to that later. But,
cool.
Yes, and so she steps off stage, and with some brief communique between the captain and herself, She gets back upon her ship and heads back to Starfleet headquarters, which leads us into our next scenario. Does anybody have anything that they would like to say or talk about before we begin?
So we are in the universe where the previous captain died.
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure I remembered that right.
Yep. And also, you lost a officer as well. I mean, amongst several other officers that we know named, but you did lose one to the vast vacuum of space. Yep. So your ship is all repaired. Admiral Talara assisted in that with supplies and everything else, and she sent you guys on your merry way. So here we are, a couple days later. Captain, let me switch scenes here. Captain Maricadi. You may actually, so before I start, the name of this scenario is called Dormant Life. It is a standalone fan-made episode or scenario by a gentleman named Peter Shepard. I found that on the Continuing Missions webpage for Star Trek Adventures. So hopefully we'll enjoy this one. Captain, your captain's log.
Sure. Captain's log, stardate 51555.9. We venture further into the depths of the Shackleton Expanse, ready for what's out there, for what lies beyond the edge of known space. After our encounter with the plasma bursts and the Borg, we were able to find a nebula that masked our warp signature while we made the necessary repairs. Admiral Talara was able to rendezvous with us, bringing much-needed supplies. It took almost 2 weeks, but we're now underway once again. After what the Surprise went through, I will say, she's a fine ship, with a fine crew. I could not be more proud of their actions. We are approaching a new system that is to be charted once we drop out of warp.
So, as you guys approach the system, long range still, several years ago, about close to 15, maybe 20 years ago, the Starfleet was able to actually send some probes throughout the Shackleton Expanse, and this was one of the systems it was able to partially probe. However, throughout the Expanse, they weren't able to chart all systems and phenomena. Like I said, the last scan was about almost 15 to 20 years ago. Those initial surveys revealed this system has 2 outer gas giants, 4 inner rocky planets. A thick asteroid belt sits between the gas giants and the inner rocky planetary bodies. The star is a young G3 star, and there are no known stellar phenomena. And so the ship approaches the system, but you guys are still at long range. And the floor is yours.
Okay. Keep her nice and steady, Thrall, as we get ready to enter orbit. I want to keep us nice and long range while we get some preliminary scans. Commander Kullat, are we receiving any information from the planet we should be aware of? Any communications, any signals you can read?
Processing now, Captain. And I'm busy at work. Checking for any signals and scanning the planets.
Okay. Would you like to scan the gas giants? Would you like to scan the rocky planets?
Say start with the rocky planets.
Okay. Give me a reason and science. Captain, a sensors and science. This will be a difficulty 2.
Nice.
Oh, game is paused. Thank you. It hurts me. All right, perfect. You have 1 momentum. What would you like to do?
Extra informations.
Extra informations. Okay.
That's good.
So, your scans reveal small to medium-sized Class D planetary bodies. Those are rocky planets with no atmospheres. And your extra information is going to be that gravitational readings are slightly different to the original survey. It almost appears that something is blocking or possibly obscuring these scanners. So I'll send that to you also so you have it.
Stand by. Oh, that's just what you said, right?
Yeah, just so you have it in case you want to do your thing.
So far, Captain, we're seeing medium-sized Class Ds on the rocky planets. The gravitational readings are different from expected based on the original survey, though something appears to be obscuring my scanners.
Well, the differences should be accounted for, but what would cause something like this to interfere with your sensors? I mean, something natural phenomena that you know of?
I will have to investigate further.
Very well.
Prior to
before
investigating, you would know that, yes. Possibly it could be a natural phenomenon, or something you don't know of. Sorry to interrupt you, Captain.
That's quite all right. Who's on bridge with me? Is it Andal or is it the people that I can literally see here? Or this is my actual bridge?
Well, that is up to
I would be there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have
As
any
Andal.
medical duties. I don't have any medical duties currently, so I'd be sitting here acting as a counselor of sorts.
Yeah, now that the captain's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta...
He's
Sorry.
there to offer his guidance.
Jeez. Very well. I just wanted to get an idea of who was around. So it sounds like we have natural phenomena that could interfere with us. Let Thrall take us closer to the. Take us around the solar system with impulse. Kullat, I want you to gauge the sensor's strength, or rather lack of strength, to see if we can perhaps pinpoint the source of this disturbance.
Okay, so let me do this for you.
Look like you're going to say something, Andal.
Not yet.
Lieutenant
You were like-
Andal looked like he did have something to interject.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
I thought.
here. Yes.
So I'm watching the changes on the readings to see what would be altering them,
Okay.
whether it's gravimetric or
So
Electromagnetic or
Lieutenant
pedometric.
Needleman. Lieutenant Thrall
strings forming
nods
some
as you
sort
gave him those orders, and he does continue to pilot the ship around, but obviously still towards the system in question. And what is it that you want to do, Kullat?
I'm watching the scans to see what is creating that
Right.
obscuring or blocking.
Where it's
Okay.
strong, where it's weak in the
Mhm.
solar system.
I'm thinking I'm starting, I guess, with the gravity because you said it's different from what the survey indicated. But I'm watching all my broad spectrum readings for variations that would account for such disturbances in my scanning.
Okay. Let's see. So then give me also then the same thing. Give me reason and science, a difficulty of 2, please.
Sensor science.
Captain,
ship
yes,
system?
sensors and science as well, please.
Got it. I'm getting used to it. Oh.
Use a focus of physics, assuming this is a physical phenomena
Okay.
as a focus.
Uh-huh. With a PH.
With it. Is that like saying cool
Oh.
whip?
Kuhwip.
Cool whip. You have
So,
one
I'm sorry.
complication and one momentum.
Yep.
Oh, the ship doesn't face the complication. I do.
Well, we are. What do you mean?
It's for your continual scans.
It's kind of synonymous.
Right.
Well, I can't burn it because that would take me below success.
What do you mean?
Because
you have one momentum and you have a complication.
Doesn't it take 2 momentums to burn a complication?
Is it 2? Maybe it is 2.
So that's what I'm getting at. Is like,
Yeah.
Just bank it. We have to deal with it, unfortunately.
I'll bank it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
don't think there's any. Oh, do you regen determination points at all?
Yeah, you guys should all have 1. If I did not fix it, sorry.
Oh,
no,
yeah, I don't have any.
Let's see.
Now I do.
Survey. Okay.
I have 5.
5,000?
1,000.
Are you kidding? So fuck.
Okay, and so these are your readings. Wow.
But I can't read.
Good. And the ship's gonna crash.
Jeez.
Brace for impact.
So the star has reduced in intensity 85% in 2 days. Doesn't sound good.
Sorry,
Even 15% would be crazy, wouldn't it? Star dimming that much?
15.
I'm no star doctor, but
That it meant to be.
You tell me, science man.
I changed some of the time frame. Sorry, that should be the time frame.
okay. Okay. Captain, the visible light from the star has also seen a change since the original survey. It's now at 85% of intensity since 15 years ago. I see that the one gas giant is in standard range, nothing peculiar. However, it seems to be the other gas giant that's obscured or blocked in my scans.
Very well. Regarding the sun, you said 85% loss in total energy mass in 15 years?
The visible light is reduced by 85% compared to 15 years ago.
Okay. And in the sun, we can think of it like a reactor, and it's the more it's better it's working, the brighter it is. And in this case, with the lack of brightness, maybe we could infer that this is a dying star. But surely that's too quick even for a star of that nature. I mean,
Do we know of any advanced civilizations that could be within the solar system?
And the system
Perhaps
was
Dormant.
uncharted to us previously.
Check your computers if you want.
very well. In the meantime, Thrall, let's take us around to that gas giant causing us readings, heading 16-9.
So he gets a small alert. Oh gosh, it really keeps going.
Ah! Ah!
Ah!
Small alert.
He taps it and he. Sorry, Captain. The ship's still
I thought
got
it
a
was a
few
phone
bugs
call.
to work out from the last
We
attack.
should-
And he says
okay.
that he acknowledges your orders and he says, Captain, we are approaching the system if you would like us to come out of Impulse.
Yeah, take us out of Impulse, hold us stationary overhead. Get it on the main viewer here so we can see what this gas giant looks like
So,
up close.
Let's do this then. Okay.
Yeah, my boy.
So he gets you basically right on the edge of the of this star system, And
Oh, it's far away. The gas giant is.
he brings you you in close enough,
Like
basically to
Pluto.
where you're at. Yep.
Okay.
And so, and you asked him what about the you wanted to get something on screen?
I wanted to see it. But basically, I wanted to be able to look at it from the bridge, what the gas giant looks like.
Okay. So then I will show you two things. So the first thing, and I will give a shout out to the creator of this map that I did slightly alter to fit our scenario, but his name is Trontrack, and he created this. So what I just showed you guys
Oh, cool.
is the previous star system, or the previous initial scans of the star system.
Right.
And just so our
And we're at 958 TAC 2306. That blue gas giant there.
yeah, you're just outside of that guy.
Okay.
Oh, previous scan. So
We're in an asteroid belt. Okay. 4 terrestrials, 2 gases. That makes sense. I like this little handout. That's cool.
thanks. It was Trontrack. You can find him on DeviantArt. I don't think he's been active since like 2012, 2013. But still, the shout outs are there because this is his work, and he did a badass job. So real quick, previous scan, just so our team can see that. There it
Nice.
is. So the stream can see it. I have it up. And what he's talking about is the blue giant at the far left. The surprise is parked just outside of that. You can see the orbits. You can see the asteroid belt there.
Is that 958 or 956?
So it's 956 2306 and then 956 2305.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, 2306 is where we are.
Yes.
We are. Right outside.
Yep.
of
So those were the
2306.
previous scans, and now that you guys drop out of warp, and I'm gonna have to hear you. I'm gonna hear you say it on screen.
On screen?
Thank you.
Is that
So
effective?
so the new scan is going to be this one. And there. So you guys remember? Could you see the difference?
Not yet.
Oh, did it not show you? Oh, sorry.
Did
There
it
you
pop
go.
up? Oh.
Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
Oh. So one of the gas giants completely
I think
gone.
I'm having another ocular migraine here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's inducing a migraine.
Sorry. All right. We'll turn that one off. Previous scan. Close. Okay.
No, the joke is that's
Oh, that's what it
looked
looks like.
when I had
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
just lose a chunk of your vision.
Uh huh.
So that was the previous scan. And
This is the current scan with the missing gas giant.
yes.
Okay. And since we're outside of 2306, do we? So first of all, looking at this gas giant, anything of note? I mean, Jupiter has an eye of the storm. Neptune is a solid pale blue. What does this thing look like?
In terms of what type of gas giant might it be?
Yeah, right. Because like, there's a lot of differences between like Jupiter and Saturn, for instance.
Yeah.
So like, what does this one look like?
So that would require a short-range scan.
Wow. I can't see it with my 2 eyes.
I mean, you could
Can
see it,
all
but
planets
but
from
you
Earth?
wouldn't know what it's comprised of. You
Well,
know.
sure. I know I don't know what it's comprised of. I meant like when I had Tactile pull us up, I wanted to like have him literally pull the ship up and point it at the gas giant close enough
Okay.
so that we could like see the thing.
Okay.
in
So
the
yeah,
window.
so it's right in front of you.
Yeah, basically
So
like
in its orbit.
Yeah, we're in its orbit. We're dying.
So it
No,
does have
yeah,
it has a
see.
nice blue hue, as you see here. The rings are thick, 2 C's, with ice and rock. So I mean, it pretty much looks like it is. You know, you get dark and light blue spots, green spots, maybe a little bit of purple here and there. But
Okay.
that's about how that planet does look.
Okay, beautiful. Tech Thrall, Kullat, please weigh in here if you have any suggestions. I'm looking at this chart, and where it seems to be missing an entire gas giant. This strange nebula seems to be surrounding where this second gas giant would be. As far as an explanation, I can't think of one, but my next guess is to take us closer to the nebula. Unless, of course, you have other suggestions.
I would recommend taking further scans now before we approach an unknown.
Very well, let's get the composition of the gas giant in front of us, as well as see if we can get any readings on this cloud, this nebula, so to speak.
Okay.
So it looks like a nebula, or that was just it obscured in the scan?
It looks like a nebula and currently is obscuring like what you would think is a nebula. Nebula.
Right.
So we physically see a cloud.
Yes.
Like a weird. Okay.
Gotcha. So beep
That's what I
boop, I'm doing some scans.
Yep.
Okay.
Was the gas giant dispersed into what we see here now?
That's a scary thought, Handel.
So I need. Who's doing the scan? You are, Kullat. And you're doing the gas giant. So, reason and science, ship sensors and science D1. And don't forget, counselor. You could also control attack officer if you like. I can control Tack Thrall, or if somebody wants to control him, I expect his proper voice. So those options are all there, just as a reminder.
So I'm using astrophysiques as a focus.
Okay. All right, one momentum. What would you like to do?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Or was I supposed to ship roll on that too?
Oh, I can do it.
Yeah, sensors and science, please.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I can do it.
Sorry.
Okay.
We'll take the first one, which is 2. It should only be 1 roll. So it'll be considered 2 successes there. So you have a total of 5. Your difficulty was 2. You have 3.
Bank 2 and 1 extra information.
Okay. Let him go. And let's see. Let's do this. Okay. There is your information, sir. Anybody else doing anything?
I'm gonna pull our old captain and just take a quick nap in the captain's quarters. You guys deal with it. See it?
Oh, I thought you were physically
I
pulling his
learned-
corpse somewhere.
I learned. Yeah. Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. Jeez.
You guys got
My-
this covered. I'm gonna go to bed.
My scan only shows the one standard gas giant. It's comprised of hydrogen and helium, just as Jupiter or Saturn were in your Sol system. It appears to sit within the mass of this nebula-like structure.
Oh, I see. So the gas giant's still within the mass of this nebula structure? Is that what you're reading, Kullat?
I interpret this as there's only one of the two, correct, Admiral?
Okay.
Affirmative.
So I'm reading the furthest one, but it's
Right.
within the mass of this nebulous
I see what you're saying.
matter.
Well, this nebulous matter, does it resemble a very similar nebula consistency that we're accustomed to? I'm just worried about our ship's integrity. Want to make sure that pulling us through is going to keep us safe.
The previous scan mostly encompassed that first gas giant. Let me scan further.
Tech Thrall, bring us a little closer, but not too close to this nebula, please.
Okay.
So I'm scanning the actual cloud.
You're going to scan the nebula now?
All we can really do right now.
Okay.
Dude, you're fine. Let's go.
Yeah, he's doing good today. All right,
on
so
fire.
you're scanning the nebula, right? Let's do same thing. Reason and science, ship sensors and science. This will be a difficulty 3.
Dang.
And what is our counselor doing on the bridge at this time?
Just hanging out.
Doing counselor things.
Yeah. Just keeping a check on everyone's emotions. Seeing if anyone needs I'll creep up behind people and give them a nice shoulder rub or something.
That's nice.
No, I'm just
He's
waiting for any need for me to do something, I guess.
He's counseling the crew on the loss of their crewmates and captains since we got no leave time after taking those losses.
Yeah.
He's doing grief counseling.
Great. Okay, it's your turn now, Captain. Captain Maricadi, sensors and science, please.
Sensors and science coming right up.
You should use a momentum, probably. Can you do a momentum for an assist one?
I think. Well, this is an assist. It's just an actual.
Oh, never mind then. Too late.
It's just
then.
part of the roll, yeah. Too late.
Yeah. Please. Okay.
Okay.
Take it.
No, we still came up short.
That's fine. So you go to scan this nebula, and you just don't seem to be getting any results back. You're not sure if you're just not able. The scans are able to punch through whatever's consistent of this nebula, or if there's any other sort of interference. But your initial scans of this nebula didn't give you any information.
Captain, I'm having difficulties here. Let me reset the scanners.
Roger that.
If you're resetting the scanners, like, are you doing like a quick diagnostic of the sensors, or
Just turning them off and back on again. Get a fresh
you try and
Scan
control alt
going.
delete?
defragging the memory banks.
Okay. Give me a control and science difficulty 1. You banking those?
I find the I find the sensors control module. I pull it out like a Nintendo cartridge and give it a real quick, and then I insert it back in and restart my scan of the nebula.
Then give me the same rolls, please. Reason and science, ships, sensors and science. This will be
Roger,
difficulty 3. Difficulty 3.
Yay!
All right, so there you go.
Sorry, Captain, it was a bad motivator. Let us continue.
Very well. What are we reading?
Let's see. This is what you're reading.
Just waiting on the readout. It's printing on ticker tape.
Ticker tape?
It's making loud noises like a dot matrix printer.
Thanks for the sex, early 90s printer.
Captain, I'm showing it is a Type 3 nebula comprised mainly of helium and hydrogen with some trace noble gases. I was unable to penetrate more than a few tens of kilometers to read further. It is a very thick nebula with 3 Cs.
Very well. Commander Vogt, can we recalibrate the shields with these latest scans to see if we can further reinforce our resistance to those gases, in case too much concentration would cause an interference? Commander Vogt, you're at your desk. Asleep again?
Oh yeah, I'm playing Vogt, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yes, Captain, of course. I'll get right on that.
Yes, of course you were sleeping at your desk again? I'm just... Okay. Sounds good, thanks.
So,
It was that shoulder rub he was getting.
Yeah.
So are you recalibrating the shields? Is that what you asked them to do?
So,
Or
basically using the readings, I wanted the shields recalibrated so that we can essentially push or eject these gases away from the ship. Thinking of it like, the ship's going in. If it's just going in without the shields on, it's just going to go through the noble gases. Well, with the shields on, I want to repel those gases, almost like an anti-ionizing effect.
okay, all right. So, Mr. Vogt, give me a reason in engineering, difficulty 3, sir. And that'll be.
I might call up Commander Thok as well to assist with that, if that's better specialty for shields manipulation.
Why don't you give him a call then?
Get him on the horn. Yeah, click.
Why manipulation?
Lieutenant Commander Thok, this is Captain Maricadi speaking.
Captain, how can I help you?
We're about to enter a very thick and concentrated nebula containing various noble gases. I'm sending you the reading now we got from Commander Kval. Blub, 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 blub. Using these readings, do you think it would be possible to calibrate the shield to repel these gases?
We can certainly try and remodulate. Is Commander Vogt going to assist me in this, or am I assisting Vogt?
Vogt is in charge of the shields, so you're taking lead on this. Vogt is just going to be attuning the calibrations based on your recommendation.
Understood, Captain.
So,
I'll notify you when I'm ready.
thank you, Lieutenant Commander. Out.
So I'll do a real quick, Mr. Vogt. Give me that. What did I tell you?
Almost 3 successes, not quite though.
And then so, Mr. Paul.
Wait, shouldn't that be 3 successes? Because the 3 is under my engineering discipline. Or is
if
equal
you use
to
a
it.
focus.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
You use the focus, yes.
I don't really have any of that apply in this situation.
Let's see. So. Okay. So, in a moment, Captain, your comm badge goes off.
This is the captain.
This is Kval. I've made some necessary adjustments on the frequencies. Commander Vogt should be able to do what you're asking.
Thank you, Lieutenant Commander. We'll proceed from here. Continue to monitor the shield's stability and our core strength, and then please notify me if anything changes.
Understood.
Thank
And he
you.
gets off. And somebody else will get to play him from this point forward. Whoever wants to choose to play the Blue Man group may do so. So, based on his calculations, Reinach Vogt, you're able to at least set the shields in a function or a fashion that almost reflects or attempts to reflect the nebula-like clouds of gas and dust. You just have to drive through it.
Wow. Okay, let's get those shields on once we start to once we get deeper into the nebula, let's get those shields on. Kullat, I want you to monitor the concentration of these gases as we continue to proceed. I don't want to be surprised as we, well, enter this gas giant, perhaps. As Andal put it.
Let's see here.
Certainly, Captain.
Alright, Thrall, take us through. Let's go.
Who wants to play Thrall?
Oh, I can roll this stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I can talk.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm gonna need you to do his voice too.
Commander. Thank you, Captain.
Perfect. So,
Captain, I'm obligated to say you look quite handsome today on the bridge.
I need a roll from him then. This is gonna be Control and Conn, difficulty of 3 with engines, and Conn on the ship assist.
8. With engines on the ship assist, can I use astronavigation as a focus?
Yes. While he does that, Reinach Vogt, are you doing anything?
Just monitoring the shields and scanning for any threats.
Okay. And how about Lieutenant Grax? Same as before?
Yep, keeping an eye on everyone in here in the crew.
Okay. And then, Kullat, were you doing any scans as they started to move?
Yeah, like he said, I'm just monitoring the conditions around us.
Okay. Then go ahead and give me a Reason and Science, please. Difficulty of 1. No ship assist. And then, Captain, I need one more roll from Thrall, and that's going to be Reason and Science, Reason and Conn, Sensors and Science.
Sensors and Science.
Okay. So, let's see here. Diesel Shot! Yay! Thanks, Diesel Shot, for the sub. Welcome to the stream. Everybody give a shout out to the sexy team of Diesel Shot. Hello and welcome. Welcome. You know me. Same old G. I love a good sub. Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? So with all those rolls combined, Thrall was able to ease the ship into the nebula-like structure. He's slow going, and as he's easing into it, Thrall, you are getting readings of denser pockets of gas, but you're not seeing any other gas giant. And then lastly, as Thrall is guiding the ship through this nebula, he does get a bit of a console warning for a large collection of asteroids within this actual gas giant.
Are those asteroids coming within close proximity, were you able to keep clear? Were you able to keep clear?
You are, based on his piloting skills, when
Okay.
he rolls, but he'll have to roll. So, yeah, there'll be
Okay.
some extra rolls.
Let's get
here.
let's get the shields up just in case as well. I'm putting us in. And then does that mean we're in yellow? And if the shields are
Yeah,
up?
yellow alert would be normal, but you already had him up because you were
Right.
trying to
Oh, right.
push away the
Yeah.
gas. Yes.
Yep. All right. Right. Okay. Control and Conn for tech Thrall.
Yes, please. And that's going to be ship assist engines and Conn.
Okay.
Difficulty 2.
Okay. What I'll do is. Sorry. Engines and what?
Engines and Conn, please. Engines.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna use the 2 momentum to get rid of that convocation.
So he, with his amazing piloting skills, guides the ship through the nebula without being hit by an asteroid, but he will have to pay attention to his scanners because those asteroids seem to carry out through the other side of the nebula, and the ship does kind of push through, like you saw in Voyager's intro theme, kind of just comes out of that and the mist just parts way. And in front of you is the 4 other rocky planets.
We pushed all the way through to the other side.
You did.
Interesting. So we would have passed completely through the nebula. Well, Andal, I think your theory on this being the other gas giant is I'm kind of thinking that's the case. So that being said, we really need to figure out what's going on here in the system. And the sensors are really bothering me within this nebula. So is there any way we can, Commander Kullat, is there any way we can recalibrate the sensors with our new data that we're pulled from the nebula to see if we can, well, get a better reading of the slur system without interference?
I'm just thinking, because like my last scans told me what the nebula was, just that it's, the helium and hydrogen, noble gases. Captain, what if we came closer to those asteroids and gave those a scan?
Okay, you mean the inside of the nebula? Give those a scan from inside? Okay, cool. We can do that. Tech Thrall, put us back around. Using the information we procured already, we should be able to locate the asteroids within the field. Let's get as comfortably close as possible here. Very, very good, Captain. That's very smart of you. You are the smartest one on the bridge. That's right, Tech Thrall.
He's really trying to earn that extra rank now that you're captain, huh? Maybe he's gunning for XO.
We're gonna meet up after the mission here in my quarters.
Oh,
for a little one-on-one.
Little Romulan ale.
A little one-on-one.
Disciplinary actions, right?
Yeah, for some disciplinary actions. I'm just gonna roll.
Control and Conn, please. Yeah, it'll be a difficulty of 2. And what scans did you want to do, Caval? You were talking about some here before we.
I don't think Caval's here today.
Oh, sorry. Kullat, you were wanting to scan asteroids? Is that what you said?
Yeah, those asteroids we passed inside the nebula there. I wanna give them a scan.
Inside or outside the nebulae?
Well,
they're all over. Remember, so when I said you guys left the nebula, or while you were going through, there was asteroids, but then also those continued on the other side of the nebula.
Oh, they continued out of the nebula. Well, then I would scan. They're like next to and adjacent, right? Then I would be scanning the ones right next to us to start.
Okay.
Is that just a part of the asteroid belt in this system?
Be a scan. Is that one you want to do? Because you are also allowed to do the same type of scans that everybody else is. as a Starfleet
No, I was just
officer.
asking, just this, visibly, is that, are all of these asteroids you're talking about just part of the belt in the system, or do they seem like they're from something else?
It looked like it could be part of the system, but also, given where they're at, it doesn't seem likely.
Okay. Guess we'll find out from Kullat scans.
So, all right, so there's the Conn. Thank you. And then Kullat, as before, reason and science, sensors and science, please. That's going to be a difficulty 2.
Nice.
Sensors and science, please, Captain.
Sensors and science coming from the USS Surprise.
You have to shout surprise every time you
Right.
Oh. Ugh.
So 1 extra info and 1 bank.
Nice.
Understood. So, bank that for you. And let me get your informations. Ooh, what kind of flavor you have today?
Wildberry Acai Smash.
Nice. Acai?
Acai.
Acai. Okay. I'm gonna need to cut this up into a few pieces for you, Kullat, because of your momentum.
It's a very comprehensive scan.
And then here is your momentum.
These asteroids appear to be a mix, some having come from the gas giant and others perhaps part of the belt. The ship was able to track the asteroids and detects that 4 of them are following a single trajectory at high rates of speed beyond what would be expected to be normal. The first of these asteroids will impact the largest rocky planet within 30 hours, and the subsequent asteroids will hit in 6-hour increments over a total of 48 hours from now. Wait,
And we're
further
sure those
further scans. I have screens available to show you this. Go on.
That was great, Kullat. He's able to put this on screen for you, Captain.
Sorry, Lieutenant. Continue.
Sorry. I guess we'll see them on the screen, and then I'll ask my question if it still stands.
Saw the Admiral typing furiously, and it said he was typing.
I made these maps. I want you to see them. With Kermit.
I'm in.
Okay. I'm in.
Forwards. On screen.
On screen. So this is the scan of the asteroids Kullat was just talking about.
Oh. Look at those little guys.
I'm hearing Atari sounds in my head. Boom, 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 boom.
Are we able to do material scans from this range? Are we sure those are just asteroids and not something more intentional, like a ship or a weapon? I don't know if that's, I guess, Kullat or Admiral, whoever can answer that question.
I'll let Kullat at least start. So I'm not interrupting any.
So far, they read as asteroids, just moving at a speed higher than is natural based on the other asteroids. These ones have a different path and speed than the asteroids they came from.
Okay. See if you can take us closer, Thrall. I want to see these asteroids.
Can do that. Control and Conn. Please, difficulty of 1. Actually 2 because of the other asteroids in the area.
Okay. Here comes the ship. Yes.
Okay. You have 2 momentum.
2 momentum. 1 momentum. 2 momentum. 1 momentum into the bank. And one more for, I guess, additional info. But I guess
for him it's more control.
Yeah. Okay. Even finer tuning of the engine, really. Maybe make the next roll easier. Can we do that?
Yeah, we can do that if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Just write it down. Next Conn roll. We'll reduce the difficulty.
Cool.
How's that?
I love it.
So, he taps a few things in, and he's able to get you guys closer to those asteroids.
What do they look like? Do they look like asteroids?
Yeah. Are you asking me to do something, or are you asking somebody else to do something?
No, I said I just wanted to see what they look like. So they look like big rocks in space right now that are going really fast.
Mm-hmm. So you want to scan them directly?
Yeah, now that we're up close, yeah, potentially even tractor something in here, or hold it in place if possible. Just kind of want to get a sample of the material.
Yeah. Are you gonna do it, or do you want somebody else to do it?
Somebody that's better at it, yeah, for sure. So maybe even Thrall, or sorry, Caval.
Caval could do it.
Oh, Captain, would using some sort of tractor beam on these interrupt a natural phenomenon and violate the Prime Directive, in a way?
No, we're just taking mineral samples. You know, if this happens to be an alien civilization, that would perhaps be considered that. But we're just looking for samples of what this asteroid is.
Very well.
We're not violating the directive if we don't know that there's intelligent life, right?
Yeah, and right now you're just talking about scans. So that...
Yeah, we'll get to the probing later, but...
Okay. So who's going to do the scans of the asteroids?
What's the check? Sorry.
It will be either a reason or insight plus science and a ship sensors and science.
Okay.
Difficulty of 2.
Kullat, it's all yours. Yeah.
Cabby.
And Captain, also, once you're done with the sensors and science roll for me, I want you to do a control and Conn with sensors and engines and Conn. This is for Thrall to avoid asteroids while you guys are doing your scans.
Right. Okay. I got them both.
Okay, so physics. Okay. engines and command sensors and science. So, Kullat, you have 2 momentum. I'll start with that.
Bank and info.
Okay. And Thrall's piloting skills are successful. He's so far keeping the ship safe. Let's see. So your asteroid, sir. And you said 1 for momentum?
Yes.
Okay. Here's your base information. And here is your momentum.
They are all approximately the same mass and at 150 kilometers in diameter, comprised of basic iron, nickel, expected asteroid materials.
Okay, nothing out of the ordinary here.
There is a network pattern of null spaces, each exactly a kilometer apart over the surface of the asteroid. Sensors do not show any readings from these spaces, but the gaps are filled with a 10-meter orb-shaped object, putting it on the screen. Beep, boop, whoop.
On
That's good.
screen.
I like those beeps on screen. Okay. So, let me get the stream one ready. Hang on. Pause. Okay. So, this is what you're seeing.
Oh, interesting. Bunch of little holes. Weird.
They're too uniform to be any sort of Morse code.
Too uniform. Do we know of any? Jeez.
I was about to say it looks like Morse code, but then never mind.
Well, that was good. Keep it up.
And there's nothing inside of these holes?
Of the lobes.
We don't know.
There was something about an orb, or they each have an orb.
Would you like me to elaborate for you?
If you could. The gaps are filled with
So
a
the gaps
10-meter
that,
orb-shaped object.
that he's looking at least from what you can tell, these round holes or spaces, they seem to actually either be a space or some sort of 10-meter sized orb or shaped object. So it could be a hole or it could be an actual object. It's hard to tell.
Are they at the bottom of the sea?
They might be.
Because there's a hole.
Don't start it.
There's a hole at the bottom of the sea.
Somebody.
Admiral, I want to scan for a frog on a log in the hole.
Okay,
Bottom
so
of the asteroid sea.
that is actually going to be a reason and science difficulty 5.
Difficulty 5. Oh, I've got something. Seeing these, indicates to me there's a, for lack of more broad term, man-made interference here, right? And I've got this guy as a focus. Now, is this something I can use in conjunction with a scan on these objects?
Sure can.
I would like to
If that's what
ancient
you think these
technology
might be.
scan these objects.
For 500. Playing Jeopardy. Okay. Anybody else? What are you guys doing? You guys mesmerized by these orbs?
Or the orbs is.
It might be the home to Gazord.
Could be like alien beehive.
Ooh, space wasps. You know how much
Space
space honey goes for?
Please no.
Yeah.
I don't want no space.
Maybe.
We might violate the
better
prime
than
directive.
Professor's
Space
previous.
wasps.
Kullat, give me reason and science, please. Difficulty of 2. Sensors and science, please, sir. Sir Captain.
You need sensors and science, sorry.
Yes.
Ha!
Boom. Wow, he forced senses. Okay.
Well, you didn't need your roll.
I looked through the sensors. I did not need them.
Oh. Was it your
Vulcan eyes
mind
give me
to the
sight beyond sight.
sensor's mind? Is that what you did?
My mind to asteroid mind.
Asteroid mind.
Let me use those both for extra informations.
Nice.
Okay. Let's do this then. With your extra
My mind will
information.
see all the information.
Let me combine it all into one thing. This is 2. Okay, let's do that. And a black. Pink. Anybody else? What would you guys like to do? Anything? Waiting with anticipation? Bated breath?
Awaiting further orders.
Yep, I don't want to touch this thing until we know what it is. Because, you know, if it's like alien life, I'm gonna be pretty, you know, pretty fired.
Well, if it was the XO, you could go make love to it in standard
Right.
fashion, you know. But
And
now
blame
that
the
you're a
captain.
captain, you gotta let somebody else do that.
Yep.
The orbs are embedded into the actual asteroid, so we're not seeing the full round. They're 32 feet in diameter and are exceptionally black. The example given is Vanta Black, if you're familiar with the darkest substance that NASA created. Very little light reflects off of it, so we're literally just seeing blackness in an orb dotting
Yes.
the surface of this asteroid.
Ah.
And when you look at it, it basically looks flat. You can't see any reflection to give you a shape, so it does look like it's just a flat hole, basically. So that's what it's doing.
Weird. Okay, so these are just material meticulously placed across the asteroid in a very peculiar pattern. Almost reminds me of
Perhaps.
like that old Earth story about those monoliths. I don't know if you ever heard about monoliths, where a precursor alien race sends a giant black slab of venti black material to enlighten a species, so to speak. It's just a story, but
Bum, 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 bum.
Should we take a look at the planet these asteroids are heading to? Maybe they're being attracted to something.
that's true. Can we plot its trajectory to pinpoint exactly where these asteroids are heading? Yeah, it's good. It's a good call, Antle.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all aimed at the largest rocky planet.
Let's go check out the largest rocky planet, Thrall.
So there were a couple scans in those suggestions. We can do those all if you like. I can piece them up. So first, Andal suggested actually scanning the planet that they're going to. And then there was
Right.
another suggestion for scanning the actual path, correct? Was there a third? Well, the third was just to go towards that planet, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We could also trace their trajectory backwards to see their point of origin, though we are on a timeline before they make impact. Would we? So we had like 30 hours. Would we have time to check that, or
You're
would we
at
likely
about
miss it?
look at your time. You're at about 27 hours currently. And I mean, you could start doing some scans to see if you could get any trajectory or path. Sure.
Well, we have that already from previous scan. My point was we could follow it back.
Yeah, no, that's what I was referring to.
But we might want to do what you guys said and check where it's headed first. In case
Okay.
there's some reason we might feel like altering their course or otherwise.
So let's get this trajectory point first.
Where did my scan go? Sorry, give me 1 second to try and find the one. Go. I'll add to it because I don't know where it went. So for your first scan, referring to the planet those seem to be going towards, who's going to be rolling it? It'll be a reason or insight in science.
A lot of Kullat science rolls today, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so science rolls really are anybody on the ship. You guys are all trained on all of that. I know his
Well, right, but he's
expertise
got that
is in
decent
science.
fast.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you guys can also do those rolls if you wish. You know, so.
See, he doesn't always get great rolls.
So yeah, I still need a sensors in science, please.
Yep. Oh no.
No. Okay. Alright, let me type this out.
Captain, I appear to be suffering from scan fatigue.
Wow.
Okay.
Have you tried to refresh your web browser?
You d-
Could I have the counselor over here to rub my shoulders as I try another scan?
Of course.
Of course.
Oh, you sounded eager.
This is all the information you get.
His empathic abilities let him know when he's hit the sweet
He
spot.
is the doctor, so if you're having, science dysfunction, he could probably assist you in that.
I thought these were Class Ds. You told me these were Class Ds before.
And one Class H.
There's a Class H with a thin atmosphere.
Oh,
Enough to produce quins and move the surface in storms, but no quater.
very well. That's where the asteroids are heading, or that's just a scan of the...
That is just
Okay.
a scan of the planet.
Okay. That's just a scan of the planet that we don't know that's where the asteroids are heading.
That is the one they're headed to.
It is, or isn't?
Yes.
It
Mixed
is.
signals. Okay. Let's... Very well. Let's head down to that Class H planet. Let's see if we can get a closer look. Maybe even consider sending down a team. I'm not
Okay.
on it.
Well, I don't think we want to be down there when the asteroid strikes. We should
Well, of course.
work quickly.
reports.
First act as captain is kill the crew.
Kill the crew in a very avoidable situation.
Look, they're gonna land over there. Crew.
All right, the asteroid's gonna hit here. All right, guys, if we time it right. Let's go get in position with the Class H planet. Let's see if there's already no water. Let's see if there's any structures or any if there's no above ground structures. Let's see if we can check any subterranean from very, very high orbit.
Okay. So you have a couple scans on deck here then. The trajectory of those asteroids, and then now you're going to be looking specifically at the planet for, you said structures above or below ground?
Correct.
So we'll do above first and below second. So who would like to do the asteroid trajectory scan?
Give it a shot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Give Kullat a break. What was that one then?
So that one's going to be for the trajectory, reason and science, also sensors and science, please. That's going to be a difficulty of 1.
Of 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Should be okay then.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, perfect. So you've got 4 momentums.
I will. Do we have a cap on how much we can bank? I don't remember.
Yeah. And you're at that cap, so you kind of.
Oh, well then I will spend it all on extra information. I guess I don't think we need anything else.
So these asteroids, they come from a planet not far from here, many billions of years old. Actually, let me do this for you for the trajectory. So, do you have Discord up, or do you want me to just tell you?
I have Discord up, but either or is fine by me.
So, okay, so this is kind of close to what evolved.
Picking up something on the scans here, Captain.
Let's see.
It's loading.
It's loading.
One more second.
I
have to refresh the page.
So
you try resetting. We need IT in here, please.
Oh,
Yeah,
Good idea. I'll turn it
for viruses.
I'll turn it off and on again. There it is. That did the trick. It seems that the first asteroid will impact the largest rocky planet within the next 27 hours, as Commander Kullat had already indicated, and the others will subsequently hit the same planet in 6-hour increments, total of 48 hours. Tracing these backwards, the nebula is actually obscuring the paths. But I do have some information to display on screen.
On screen.
Yep.
Ooh. It's gonna hit at a very specific point, I see.
Yes.
Alright, with that new information, let's see if we can get eyes, or at least a reading on that general area of where these asteroids are landing, to see if there's anything there that would attract these asteroids.
okay. Give me a attack Thrall roll here. That'll be the control and con. And engines and con, please. Difficulty 1. And you're having him drive you over there to that point.
Shite. Alright. Engines and con. Alright.
You got something to get rid of that complication, don't you?
Yeah, I can do 2 points to get rid of the complication, but no success, so what's happening?
Engine stalled.
So yeah, maybe the phase manifold got a little dusty or dirty flying through that nebula and all the asteroid and the dust. For some reason he's having engine complications and the ship's not able to move forward.
Became unmanifolded.
Unmanifolded.
Who's good at origami?
Manifolded.
What?
What about?
We could have Caval in engineering do a check of the engines.
Very good. Lieutenant Commander Caval, this is Captain Gregory. Could you do diagnostics of the engine to make sure it's functioning properly?
Deb, you get to play Caval here.
Oh, okay.
Just be extra sassy.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be able to impersonate him very well. Yes, of course, Captain. I'll right away. I'll get right on that. And he'd go off and begin ordering around all the people down in engineering to start checking everything and pull up any monitors he's got to run some diagnostics.
Okay. From him, give me a control and engineering from the ship's sensors or systems, engines, and engineering. It's going to be a difficulty 3. Don't forget his focuses just as a poke, and then also because I'm only reminding you.
I don't have permissions to use anything on his sheet.
Oh. Okay. Sheet. Default sheet. Figure ownership. Try now.
Yep, that worked. What was the roll?
It was going to be control and engineering, and then by the ship, engines and engineering, please.
Got it. Engines and engineering.
And that's going to be a difficulty 3. Difficulty 3. Cap.
What do you need me to do?
Engines and engineering, please.
I did. Do you want me to do it twice?
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't see you roll it. Sorry.
Check.
Okay. So you're successful, Caval. You noticed that perhaps some space dust got into the plasma manifolds. It'll take a few minutes. You tell the captain it could easily take an hour, but you know it's really only going to take a few minutes. You just want to look like a shining star.
Captain? Captain, do you read?
This is Captain Maricadi. Go ahead.
Captain, I found that there was some space dust lodged in one of the plasma engine arrays. I normally would take about an hour, maybe 2, to fix this, but I'll have it done in a matter of minutes.
Awesome. Great news, Lieutenant Commander. Let me know when the engines are ready and we'll try to fire them back up.
Very well.
Thank you.
And after a few minutes, there would be another message coming through that everything's all clear.
Very well.
Okay, so
All right. Tech Thrall, get us around.
do it again. Cap, control and Conn. Engines and Conn, please. Engines and Conn.
Okay, we're already a lot better.
All right,
Okay.
there you go.
Give me
There
some
you
momentum
go.
back.
Yes, you get 2 back. So I will mark those. You're full again. Tank is full. So Tech Thrall is easily able to kind of guide over into the area above this rocky planet where Andal had found the asteroid path. You guys are in orbit above that area, but you know, in the whole planet though.
I would commence scanning the predicted impact site.
Okay, and give me a reason in science, Captain Sensors in science, and while he's doing that, who would like to roll the scans for the structures above ground?
Wait, what?
So earlier, the captain asked about scanning for structures above ground
Oh, okay.
before
I thought you were
the
saying
ship.
there were structures and we were
No.
scanning them. And I was like, dang, I missed that.
Okay. You're successful in your role, Kullat. So there doesn't seem to be anything specific in that area. You just know that once those hit, those will possibly cause a cataclysmic event, almost like a nuclear winter.
I'm not reading anything specific in this location, though given the mass and momentum of these asteroids, it will be quite impactful. Lieutenant, would you mind doing the scan for above ground structures? I seem to be having complications with my panel now.
Is that me? Of course. I can do that.
Of course. So
And what would
yours,
that scan take?
for the structures, let's do reason and science from a ship though. Will that's going to be more for the ship. Okay, so it's going to be reason and science and sensors and science. This will be a difficulty of 2. Difficulty of 2.
I'm going to spend 1 momentum since we're at our cap. Just to add another die.
EE. Nice.
Okay.
We also got a complication. You might need to deal with it. If you want to.
And, yeah, I might as well spend a couple momentum on that too to get rid of it. And I think this applies also. Whenever I succeed at a task for which I bought 1 or more additional die, I roll 1 challenge die and get bonus momentum equal to the roll of that.
All right, give her a go. Young officer.
Nice.
So that basically gives us an extra momentum, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So, you, sir. No buildings, but leaving
Or do I lose this talent since I'm not a junior grade anymore, am I?
We'll leave it there for now since you used it.
Okay.
As we're gonna replace it with something else. That was just one I missed.
That was your last bit of untapped potential.
Yeah.
It's all gone now.
It's
Tapped
all
out.
been tapped.
Yeah.
Scanning in process, Captain. I'm not seeing any structures or buildings, but I am reading a faint power source. There are no ion storms or storms that would explain what I'm seeing here. This is rather unusual. I may be able to do a closer targeted scan, but perhaps we should send some probes down to get a closer look.
Let's get some probes down there.
Okay.
Probe me.
Rope me.
Don't tell the elf.
Don't tell the Vulcan. Okay. Let's do a probe. Giggity. Where are my probe rolls? Sending a probe. Who wants to do it? It's either going to be a control or daring plus con, and then engines and con. Be
Probably
difficulty of
tech
two.
roll.
Difficulty of 2.
Of course, Commander. Captain. What's the thing?
Either control or daring plus con, and then ship sensors, please. Engines and con. This will be difficulty of 2.
Okay.
One mom. Anything with it?
Extra data.
Extra data. Okay.
Extra Lieutenant Commander data.
All right. Here you go, Thrall.
Commander, I'm getting readings here. It looks like it's a crashed ship of some kind.
Do you have any emblems? Any territorial? What kind of ship? See if you get any specifics on it.
The way it's embedded in the ground, he's not able to tell.
Well, how much time do we have left on those asteroid collision?
So you would have. Let's go with about 20 to 22 hours.
Does it seem like where this ship is embedded into the planet is exactly where the asteroids are supposed to impact?
Not so much exactly. I would say it's more just kind of in the area. Since the asteroids are huge, you know what I mean?
Just in the death zone.
Yeah, it is it certainly is in the impact area for sure.
Okay.
Death zone. TM.
TM. Hades, 2022.
Okay. I'm gonna try to open up communication and see if I can see if I'm getting any hails from this crash ship.
Okay. That will be the captain's going to be doing it.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
Is it a nuclear vessel?
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. So let's do a control and command, followed by the ship's communications and command.
Nice. Momentum bank, please.
Okay. And then it was a 2, so you want to put both into momentum?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, let's see here. Hailing the ship. send out the hails, and you receive no response. So you try to do it again. And still, no response.
There's a potential that there are survivors down there, and they're not, well, they're not from the solar system. We're gonna need to send a team down to investigate, up close and personal. I click on my thing to talk to Lieutenant Commander Kaval.
Kaval?
Kaval, we are going to have to send an away team down. How confident are you in the ship's transporter with the relative interference that we've been receiving from the nebula? I don't want to leave our boys stranded.
Admiral?
So,
how would I feel about that?
You would feel comfortable. The majority of the issue you found with the nebula and the plasma manifolds, that was taken care of. That was just minor dust. And since you're not in the nebula and you're above the planet and the beam site, you don't think it'll be an issue.
Captain, I don't see any reason to be alarmed, and there's no interference. We should be able to beam you down there and back up with no complications, as is right now.
Very well. Thank you, Kaval. All right, Security Officer Vogt, and let's see. I'm gonna pull up a roster to see if I can get some nameless officers to accompany, the expendable team here.
Okay.
With Vogt leading the charge. And then I look to Commander Kullat and Lieutenant Andal. In case we do need any communication with any, survivors of this rash, I'll need you to be able to, one, assist in translation and identification, which obviously we're all equipped universal translators, but more so for communication, Andal, relating. You're a lot more adept at that, as well as providing any medical attention for any survivors. Kullat, see if you can pull any information from the shuttle while we're down there, any black box, so to speak, in order to obtain the flight's logs if there are no survivors.
Certainly, Captain.
Thank you. We should expect to be on the ground no later than, if the time right now is like 0500 hours, let's say. I don't want us off the ground any further than 0530. On the ground, no later than 0530.
Very well.
So 30 minutes.
All right, so I would get up and get a tricorder phaser and head out to get ready to be beamed down.
Okay.
Same Z's.
And Kaval would, I assume, would do the same. So, that being the time where we're at, that is where we're going to end and hold and pause for the cause. And we'll go back to our main screen here. There we go. So that's where we'll hold off. So, so far, your initial survey of the system, this unknown system, has kind of turned up a conundrum, I say. Huh, Captain? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's an uncharted system, and we've already had countless anomalies, inconsistencies between the two scan schedules. The sun's visible light spectrum seems to be fading, and, a crashed shuttle on an uncharted system, things aren't adding up. So we'll see what our ground team can assess of the situation.
And our science officer, who's discovered quite a bit today. What is his thoughts? What's going through his Vulcan mind?
We definitely have a scientific curiosity here, so Kaval is wanting to study these phenomena and figure out what's going on.
And then our chief medical officer. So what's going on? What's going on, Andal's lieutenant?
Yeah.
Andal's mind.
Similar to Kaval, Andal is intrigued, interested in finding out what's going on here. There's strange asteroids and mysterious ship down below on this planet that doesn't seem to be inhabited at all. So yeah, just he's interested in finding out what's going on here and looking for more information. And something I forgot to ask earlier, when we passed through that cloud, was the sun brighter to us? Was it just that cloud obscuring the visibility of it?
That'll be a scan.
All right.
Do you want to do the scan real quick, and I'll give you an answer?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Sure.
I think I have Foundry up still, so.
Yeah. Give me a reason in science, Captain Sensors in science, as we get ready for a raid.
Just forget I did that roll.
Oh, okay. How you want to end the show, huh?
We got plenty of momentum.
So yes, you are successful, but you have a complication. You gonna keep that complication?
Yeah. I think it's not a super important role, so I don't want to waste our momentum on that one.
I'm gonna mark that down for next time. Thanks. So, sensors indicate that the previous readings from Commander Kullat and how the light or the light spectrum from that star was about 85% less than initial scans. Once you guys broke through and you did a scan of the star again, it appears like a normal young G3 type star.
Okay. Good to know.
Good to know. Yes. So, with that, we're about to raid here. Un moment, por favor. Hey, so what do we have? Sunday? Do we have anything? Strahd, are you here Friday?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Commander Severian, Lieutenant Junior Grade, Lieutenant Captain Sev. You doing any Delta Green this weekend?
I wasn't planning on it, and well, I think some of the players for it aren't available, and I had something planned, but those plans went through, so maybe I'll get something together to play, but we'll see.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I think we start the Shiver game Sunday, correct? This Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern
I believe so.
Standard Time.
Not sure.
He said, what's it called? Boomtown? I don't know if there's going to be an
Yes.
actual title to this. I just know the town is called Boomtown. It is. I don't know. We have any specifics we can give away, Severian?
Not really. There wasn't a tagline or anything so far. It's just Shiver. So we're doing some horror gaming somewhere in, I believe, like the southwestern United States in a very small town.
In the 80s.
Yes.
In the 80s. So I appreciate everybody who stopped by. The sub from your captain, Tabletop Tony.
Yeah.
The sub from Diesel Shot. And Spider Long. She also gave us a sub, did she not? Spider Queen?
Yes.
She did.
And
So
Diesel Shot.
thank you all for those subs, and thanks for stopping by. We'll be around, I believe, next time. That's the 27th, bearing any unforeseen circumstances. And we'll find out what more is going on with the asteroids and this planet, and now newly discovered crashed ship. So stick with the raid. We're going to go raid Der Wolf Gaming 88. They are also doing Star Trek adventures. Almost screwed me up on that. You son of a bitch. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Live long and prosper. We'll see you next time.